welcome to another episode of XenoChat, a podcast that focuses on the Xeno series from Xenogears, Xenosaga, all the way to Xenoblade. My name is Tyler, and with me is my co-host, Justin.
How's it going, everyone?
Okay, and today's not a normal episode because what we're here today to discuss is the 1 year anniversary of our podcast, XenoChat. So yeah, it's been it originally released on August 29th of 2018, which coincides with the anniversary of the North American release of Xenosaga Episode 3 when it originally came out. So yeah, today's episode is going to be a little smaller than usual, but we're just mostly going to talk about our experience and kind of say thanks to everyone that's been listening to us along the way. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for all your support. Thank you for contributing ideas to us or even participating in the podcast. Like, seriously, this wouldn't have really been a thing if it weren't for all of you listening and helping us out here. It's crazy because this podcast kind of just started as just this fun little thing. I mean, I think I've mentioned before that this started just because one day Tyler messaged me. He was just, you had just left Operation Rainfall and, you said you wanted to start a new podcast. And I think I said like, oh yeah, that sounds kind of fun. You know, maybe we'll do something. And then we started messaging each other some more. And then, yeah, we just found a night kind of like tonight where we just kind of sat down and recorded.
Yeah, it's crazy how, like, I had no idea how long this would last, but
neither did I.
Yeah, it just stemmed from me wanting to listen to Xeno podcasts, and it just weren't any. So it's like, well, might as well create it if it doesn't exist.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you showed great initiative. You took the initiative. You messaged me. You messaged a few other people. And you made it happen, and that's great. Like, I think we have a solid community so far. We've got 13 episodes, which I guess that averages out to about an episode a month, which is pretty good, I think. And they're pretty big episodes too. I think we cover a lot of content. We've had a lot of people, a lot of different people on our podcast. Yeah, some of them are repeats, but like still, I think it's great that we've had a lot of different guests of varying backgrounds, and also they all have different knowledge of the Xeno games, and it all just kind of contributes to a much bigger picture, which I just want to emphasize. Like, this podcast would not have lasted as long as it has if it weren't for everybody participating on this.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how, like, just, like, there hasn't been, like, a lot of people have like had their expertise. Like, yours is more in the Xenoblade area, mine's more in the Xenosaga area, and then we have other people that are like more into Xenogears, and then we just kind of come together and kind of educate ourselves on the different aspects of Xeno that we might not as be familiar with. So I thought that was really awesome that we've been able to get people that are spread over the whole Xeno fandom.
Yeah, and I guess like one of the biggest things that this podcast has really opened my eyes to is just how expansive the Xeno fandom really is. Because I know I've said that like I've played these games. I started with Gears years ago when I was really young. Or I mean, I wasn't that young, but I was much younger when I first played Gears. I think I was in like 8th grade or something when I first played Gears. And then eventually I got Saga and I played through all that, and then I ended up getting Blade, and I really enjoyed those games. And it's kind of interesting because I played those games and I didn't really talk to anybody about them. I loved them. Like, I had a lot of fun, but I was never really part of a community up until this podcast. Like, I know I spoke to a couple people online who said, yeah, I like Xeno too, but I was never really part of anything involving it. I was kind of just like, oh yeah, I like this game, but I kind of kept it to myself. So this is probably the first time that I've really been actively a part of a Xeno community.
Yeah, and in high school I was more into like forums and stuff when it came to like the Xeno community, but I was mostly into the Xenosaga side of it. But I never had conversations like this where I was actually talking to people about it. So this has been a very interesting and awesome experience because I went years wanting something like this, but always had to just be relegated to forum threads and whatnot.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I feel like what we have here is a little bit more intimate, I guess. We're all kind of getting to know each other a little bit more. I consider most of the guests that we have, I consider most of them to be my friends. And I guess that's probably one of the biggest things I've gained from doing this is I feel like I've gained a lot of new friends. And that's awesome. And I like that we're reaching people. I think you said we've had over 1,000 plays so far, which is pretty crazy. I know that sounds like a humble brag, but just bear with me. XenoChat's got over 1,000 plays. We have 13 episodes. We're better than you. No, I mean, it's just cool that people are actually listening to this, for lack of a better term.
Right. Right.
I know. I think I mentioned. I don't know if the episode's out, but I remember mentioning that just even whatever we were in August. So in June, I was at Too Many Games, and there was someone who came to a panel that I was hosting, and they recognized my voice, and they were saying, "Oh, you're from XenoChat," and that was so awesome. And just the idea that someone actually recognized me and was, happy to hear about our content. That's so cool. And I hope that isn't the only experience we have doing it. More people are listening to this. And I guess that kind of goes into where we want to go with the podcast in the future. And, I know we have some big plans for, I guess the next year of XenoChat. Let's see. I know we have a list of stuff we want to talk about. I guess we could say the big plans for later. Okay. So let's see. Tyler, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Oh, okay.
What is something that you learned while doing this?
Well, I guess something I've learned a lot about editing audio a lot more. Because before that, I hadn't really done much with that. I guess that's not the answer to the question exactly, but besides that, I don't know. This has been a really interesting experience, and let me think on that. How about you? How about you? What have you?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. I think one of the things I learned from this is how to look at characters in kind of a different way. And I guess the episode I learned that from, and this is probably one of my favorite episodes on the podcast, is the Shion episode. Because I actually really enjoyed that episode, and also some of the earlier episodes, because we spoke a lot about Xenosaga 2. And for years, that was a game that I didn't really enjoy a whole lot. And even Shion, I know I've had my opinions about her over the years. And it wasn't until those first few episodes where it really got me to think about what is it about the Shion and episode 2 that I really disliked. And I come to learn that there's not a whole lot that I truly actually dislike about them. And I was also thinking that these characters are designed a certain, Shion's designed a certain way. And it's kind of brilliant that she's designed that way. And I don't know, I think the discussion we've had with that has kind of, helped me to look at characters that typically are seen as bad characters or hated characters and try to really see if they're really bad characters so much as are they just characters that, really make you think about them. And I don't know. I feel like the way we've had, some of the conversations we've had on here have really changed the way I look at characters. Cause it started to make me think about that a little bit more, how I judge my media. I guess that's probably one of the biggest takeaways I've gotten from our conversations on, XenoChat.
All right. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, thinking about that now, cause, I also want to, I just thought about how I kind of, after, the episodes with Pure, I kind of want to be more critical about like rumors and like what's exactly true within the Xeno.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is actually one thing that Pure really does contribute to us, is that he is really good at giving an objective opinion on something. I've noticed.
Exactly.
He's very factual. He does his research.
Yeah.
Like, and I actually really like that about him. He always has something really cool to contribute to the conversation, whether he wants to or not. He does a really good job. And, And I really enjoyed the episodes with him a lot. Like, I remember that first episode we had with him, like, I think I didn't even speak a whole lot. And it wasn't because that I didn't have much to say. It was because I was so interested in what Pure had to say.
It was like, keep talking, Pure, even though it was like over 3 hours long.
Yeah. But, like, the reason I'm asking this is because, I want to emphasize that this podcast, it's nothing professional. Like, Tyler and I, we're not like pros at doing podcasts. Yeah, I've done a couple in the past, but this is still a new experience for us.
Right.
So I think that, I want us to like talk about like what we learned and some of the things that we experienced, because I think that can maybe help other people who are considering doing their own podcast down the line.
Right. Yeah, because, we're pretty much noobs as well, so it's even now I still don't know if I know everything that is about podcasting, but it's still been a really fun experience, and I think we'll hopefully when we go into the second year that we'll still be learning a lot of new stuff.
Absolutely. And I mean, you've been working on not video editing, you've been working on the audio editing, and you've never done this before, right?
Right.
And I know that's a hurdle for a lot of people. A lot of people, they look at these projects, they say, oh, I gotta learn how to use Audacity or use whatever program I'm using, and then I gotta figure out how to splice the audio right, get the sound levels correct, and that sounds terrible. But no, like, you put in the time and effort, and trust me, Tyler has put in a lot of time and effort into these episodes, but you did a great job. And we've got 13 episodes that I think sound pretty good, at least so far.
Yes, thank you.
And
I was gonna say, like, one of the things that we had trouble with was like goes back to like episode 1 when I remember I recorded our audio, but like all of mine I think I forgot to wear headphones or something, so my audio was mixed with your audio, and it was just a huge mess. So it took me like a month to clean that all up and get it just right. So that was a very first exciting experience.
Yeah, and I know I've had some issues like that too. I think there was an episode where I think I just couldn't find my headphones or something like that. So I just straight up didn't have any headphones, and I was capturing all sorts of sound and audio. And then even more recently, during the Love episode, there was a really bad storm going on around the house, like right outside. And like the lights were starting to flicker in my room, and I got scared. I was like, uh-oh, am I about to like lose power and then lose all this audio that we have recorded? So I actually, I saved my audio midway through the podcast and had to like break it up into separate segments. But like things like that will happen, and we had little audio mishaps. Like, I know some of our guests have had some issues as well.
Yeah, there was a little bit of an audio issue in the Melia episode, but thankfully it didn't cause a huge issue with the episode itself, thankfully.
And then there's even, I remember, I think it was also the Love episode where, what was it? I think like I was using a different computer to record, and I think like I used a really weird setup to record it. I think I did something like I had Discord running. Oh yeah, full disclosure, we're using Discord. The audio call was on my phone, but then I had the recording on my computer. And so I was basically like talking to everybody in the podcast on my phone and then actually recording on my computer. I don't know. I did weird things.
It worked, though. It worked.
It did work, yeah. But yeah, I mean, audio things happen when it comes to recording audio. I've had plenty of mishaps. Like, I remember, I started streaming recently. Shameless plug. And I know the very first night I started streaming, I accidentally had a window open with my stream, and my capture was capturing the audio from the stream. Mm-hmm. So, like, I was talking and it kept repeating itself. And it got to a point where it sounded like there's 10 of me talking over myself. It was bad. But, yeah, I've since learned from that, and that's not happening again.
Okay, yeah. Lots of learning experiences.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of like things we've learned, new experiences. We kind of covered that as well. Favorite episode to record? Which one was that for you?
I'm sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Oh, I was asking, what was your favorite episode to record?
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of want to say the Myths episode was super, super fun to record. That was actually probably one of my favorite episodes. That was
really neat because it was different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at first... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, you can talk, that's fine.
Oh, I was just remembering, because I remember how I was thinking of a way to structure it, but then Pierre was like, let's do it this way. And it was like, it turned out a whole lot better than how I was going to structure it. So it was like, this was actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
You turned it more into really like cool. A game, and that was cool.
That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that episode too. That was a good one. I mentioned the Shion episode. That was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I also really liked the Melia episode. The upcoming Love episodes, those are a lot of fun.
Yes. Hopefully part 2 will be up by the time of this recording, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Mm-hmm. And we also recorded a Shulk episode, and that was actually a really good one too. We have a new guest on that episode, by the way. A little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, but ooh, surprise.
So let's see, episodes that we got on the horizon.
Okay. Well, yeah, as we said, we got Shulk, Love Part 2, and then Love Part 3 is going to be recording on the 25th? The 25th, right?
I think so. That sounds about right.
Okay, and that should be the last part. Otherwise, I don't know what other love we'd talk about, but...
Yeah, because that episode is going to be mostly Xenoblade 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Xenoblade 2 and Torna.
Yeah. Which is nice, because we actually haven't spoken about Torna yet.
No, we really haven't. Let's see. And then besides that, we did run a poll not too long ago, and Elma was the winner, so... Yay, Elma. We'll be recording... I'm guessing sometime in September, but I don't think we've decided on a date yet, or...
Yeah, we haven't decided on a date, and we just gotta see, like, whose schedule lines up with who, and all that good stuff.
Right, yeah, because right now it's, like, so many people are going to, like, cons and stuff, it's, like, we gotta figure out when would be the best time to have everybody.
Yeah, we're at the, kind of the tail end of con season.
Mm-hmm.
So, we still got some coming up. I know I have a con in September, and then I should be free until about November.
Okay. Which con is that?
So in September, we've got a video game con that's up in Parsippany, New Jersey. That's a really good con. Nice. It's not a huge con, but it's a nice gaming convention. A lot of vendors are there, so if you're looking for video games or retro games, it's a really good venue for that. They also got some really good arcade games there. Some nice events are going to be there as well. My friend's going to be running Tournament of Voices there, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that. Nice. Yeah. A lot of my friends actually run that con. So, it's just a nice hangout for me. And I know the people who go there, they generally really enjoy it. It's not a huge con. It's very intimate. All the people there are really, really, really nice. And generally, it's just a good time. They're trying to get more cosplayers there. Mm-hmm. I remember for a while they were looking for some, but yeah, that's a really, really, really good one. And then after that, we got Anime NYC. I believe that's in November. And that's a really good one. I really enjoy Anime NYC. That's in New York City at the Javits Center. So it's the same venue as Comic-Con, but they're not using the entire place. It's only one section. And I think it's for the better. Cause I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Comic-Con at times. It can get really crowded and cramped. There's good stuff there. It's just that when you're actually at Comic-Con, it can be kind of a pain to get anywhere because there's just so many people and there's so much going on. You got it's just sensory overload. You go there's cosplayers on the left, vendors on the right, giant companies promoting their new comics and games, and it's just too much. There's so much chaos in Comic-Con.
Yeah, that gives me anxiety just thinking about it.
Yeah. If you actually went there, you'd probably just want to turn around. It's the kind of place where if you're not ready for a big crowd, don't go.
Okay.
But I mean, otherwise, it's not the worst event. There is some good stuff there because there are a lot of really good guests that go to Comic-Con, and you do get some exclusive stuff there too. So if you have to go to Comic-Con, you'll probably have a good time. But for me personally, I think I prefer smaller conventions than that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Besides the Elma episode, I do know that we're trying to do. The only other ones that I think we have confirmed are we're going to work on the queer theory episode because we've been wanting to do that for a long time now, and we just haven't gotten around to it. But I think we're still a little iffy on when that's happening. But
yeah, we're still ironing out the details with that one. Specifically, who's going to be on it and when, because we're actually going to make that a multi-part episode.
Yes.
And we're going to try to get different people, hopefully, for each part. So, we're still trying to look into doing that. And once that's done, I think that'll be a really, really cool episode to get out there.
Exactly. I'm very much looking forward to recording that.
Yeah, there's that. What else is on the horizon? I've thought about doing a Xenoblade cross stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking about doing that, and I know Radio and Marie are both really interested in joining in for that. So I think if the online is still working on that, maybe I'll get a game going and then have them come with me, and then we'll go fight some monsters and try to record our audio if possible.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I have no idea if the online component's still working on that. Because it's been a few years since I've tried the online. I played it on one of the anniversaries, but yeah, that would be really cool to watch.
So Tyler, what are your goals for the next year, or what are some things that you hopefully want to accomplish?
Well, that's a very lofty question.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
Because really, I didn't have much of a goal in mind when we started besides talking about Xeno, so I guess hopefully talking more about Xeno.
That's a valid answer.
And then hopefully we'll see some more. I guess I shouldn't rush the people at Monolith Soft. It'd be awesome if they announced a new Xeno game, but I won't pressure them.
Wouldn't it be cool if we found out that they were listening to us?
Oh God, that would be cool. I'd also be maybe a little embarrassed, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, I guess I want to hopefully get us at conventions if possible, and try to just spread the word of XenoChat a little bit more. Get some more people listening in. I know we have a meetup planned at Katsucon next year, and that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes.
We can definitely put a link to the group, because there's a Facebook group for it.
Yeah.
And we can definitely put a link to that in the description for this episode. So if any of you are interested, definitely just join that. The page is going to get updated, as we learn more details on what to do for the meetup. Because we're going to do it like photo shoot style. So we definitely do want some photographers there and cosplayers for Xeno, because I think that'll be really cool. It'll just be a bunch of us just hanging out, dressed up as other Xeno characters, and just having a good time. And I know we really want to do that. We really want to do some other events at Katsucon. We're still trying to iron those out, but stay tuned. I hopefully want to get at least one convention event going, because I know it's hard to get us all in one place. Katsucon's going to be the first time where that actually happens.
Yes.
Because we're very spread out. I know we don't talk about this often, but some of us are on the East Coast, some of us are out in the Midwest, and some of us aren't even in this country.
Exactly.
They're not even in the US, so it's we're all over the place over at XenoChat.
Yeah, so this will be exciting to have us all in one place, and this will be the first time I've met.
So Katsucon's gonna be the first time that happens.
Yeah, and met up with online friends. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. So I guess that's kind of what I want to see for year 2 of XenoChat. I just want to see us be have more of a presence at conventions. Also, I do want to try to get design a new logo for us too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about a new logo, and then I don't know if we ever want to try to get a new opening song, or if Emotions is just perfect.
Yeah, that'd be really cool if we get a new original song. It's just that I don't think any of us are composers or know how to make music, for lack of a better term.
Oh, well, I think Aaron's done something with music before, but yeah, that might be a long-term goal.
Yeah. I mean, it's no rush. I am perfectly fine with what we have so far, at least for now.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with it too.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of what I want to see for the next year. Man, it still blows my mind that we're even at this point. Right. Just the fact that we're having this conversation is just mind-blowing to me. How the hell did we survive this long?
Yeah, exactly. And people surprisingly listen to it. So it's...
and they like it. Apparently we're putting out decent content. Go figure.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah, seriously, it means the world to us that we're getting all the support that we're getting. I know we've had 1,000 likes. We got a decent amount of followers on Twitter. I think it's too bad so far. Yeah.
Yeah, it's slowly growing, so that's really awesome too.
Absolutely. And yeah, I know like I said, I just want to see us expand more.
Right. And yeah, and another thing, it's not like we'll ever run out of episode ideas, because I don't know if I've shared this in the past, but we have like a document that has like all of our ideas for episodes, and I had to organize it recently because there was just so many ideas.
Yeah, and we are always open to suggestions because, like, more than anything else, this is very much a community effort. So if you have an idea for an episode, honestly, feel free to message us on Twitter. We will hear you out. Like, if it sounds cool to us, we'll put it on our list. Yeah, we are very open to suggestions on episodes. So definitely don't hesitate to do that. Because, again, like, I feel like part of the reason we're doing this is because I know, at least I've heard from Tyler and some of the other people we've had on here that, like, previous Xeno communities, there was some sort of toxicity going on, and there was a little bit of elitism. So we're trying to get none of that here. We're trying to be as positive of a community as we can be.
Exactly. Xenogears, Xenosaga, Xenoblade, it's all good.
Yeah, they all good games, and we all like them. I like to think most of you like them as well. So let's all help each other out. Let's make this really cool.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better. Well, thank you very much, Justin, especially for joining me on this endeavor, because I would not have been able to hold it up by myself. You definitely bring the more charisma to this than I can barely talk.
It's my pleasure, man. I'm just here to have fun, make sarcastic remarks, and talk about some cool games. That's literally my goal here, is just talk about some cool games on a microphone. So yeah, I guess, is there any closing comments for the first anniversary of XenoChats?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks everybody for listening, and yeah, as Justin said earlier, if you ever have any ideas about future episodes or anything else we can cover, let us know, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you once again. It's been a hell of a year. Hopefully our next year is going to be just as good, if not even better.
Exactly. All right. Well, good night and take care, everyone.
All right, everybody. Have a great night.